Thank you all so much for being here. This is, what seems to be and what is just a fun day out with the family, with friends. It's actually so much more than that, because what we're doing here is showcasing a lifestyle that is so important and so revolutionary that can truly change the world in so many ways. And there's just nothing on an individual level that would reduce so much violence, so much suffering, so much pain, misery for so many individuals on this planet. So, yes, it's a fun day out. It's a good time with friends and family. Try some delicious food, hang out, watch some speeches. But on another level, what we're doing is planting seeds in the consciousness of everybody here to show them that there is another path to live, a much less violent path that has many less victims, a much more environmentally friendly path, a much healthier path for us and our family and friends, and a path that is more in alignment with the society that we are trying to create. We're trying to create a society built on the foundational principles that we try to live by: compassion, respect, justice, peace, equality, non-violence. These are some of the most important things that we all hold true. And a vegan lifestyle is so much more in alignment to those things than the standard lifestyle that most of us are born into. Most of us are born into a lifestyle that is causing needless suffering and death for a few simple products that are completely redundant now, that we don't need, that we're better off without, that we have alternatives for. And we also know that every single essential nutrient is found in a diet made just entirely from plants. So it's a very special time to be alive. It's a very special time to be at a festival like this, showcasing such a powerful shift that is currently taking place on this earth. A shift from foods and products of oppression and violence and suffering to foods of kindness, compassion, and respect. You're all a part of it, even if you're not vegan yet, even if you haven't had a fully vegan meal in your life. Being here today, being a part of it, you'll be swept up in it. It's so logical. It makes so much sense. It's in alignment with every single person that strives to be a good, kind, compassionate person. And I'm very excited for you all to be joining us. So let's give a massive round of applause to the organizers, to the volunteers, to each and every one of you for joining us to help make this a very special and powerful event. I just would like to see a bit of a show of hands. Put your hand up if you've gone vegan in the last year. Oh yeah, a few people. The last 3 years? Whoa, welcome to the party. The last 5 years? Awesome. What about you've been vegan for 10 years or longer? Yeah, one. Okay. I'd like to point out something cool about this. This is really starting to grow fast. Things are really starting to change now. We're at a time where we have an alternative to everything that we once could only get from animal products. In fact, the other night I was at I was in Brisbane, and it was just a food court, and it was late at night, and everyone was in there drunk and just getting, fast food. And I went in there and I thought, okay, there's definitely nothing here for me. I'm a vegan, I struggle in moments like this. And I looked and I saw Hungry Jack's with the Rebel Whopper, 100% Whopper, 0% beef. I thought, whoa, this has never existed before. A vegan burger that tastes exactly like the normal Whopper in one of the most popular restaurants on the planet in Australia. And this is happening now also in KFC and in McDonald's and in Hungry Jack's and Pizza Hut and Domino's. You can get vegan cheese and vegan meats at these places. This is unprecedented. This did not happen 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even 3 years ago. We're seeing such a monumental shift. And it's because the information is getting out there, the options are getting out there, the conversation is happening. The conversation has been forced to happen. We have a new label. I haven't been in Australia this year. I've been out trying to spread the message all over the place. And I came back to Australia, and as I was going through customs in Brisbane, they took me and my girlfriend to the naughty corner kind of thing with the customs. the customs officers. And they started going through our bags and going through my phone, looking through my camera roll. And I'd actually just spent 3 nights in a slaughterhouse in Indonesia. And they were looking through it, everything, for about half an hour. And at first I was like, what the hell, man? What are they, is it the tattoos? Like, is that why you singled just us out of this entire crowd of people? And then I realized, oh, it's because of my vegan hat. And it's because of my eat veggies, not animals shirt. I'm definitely repping veganism right now. And currently, the media are portraying vegans as what? Anyone know? Terrorists. Vegans as terrorists. Whoa. So when I came back into the country and they were kind of treating me, they were going through my camera as if I was somebody to be very careful of. And they found the slaughterhouse footage, which I thought was great. And you know what they said? They said, we don't know if we can let you in with this. We don't know if we can let you in with such graphic footage. You know, that's what we do. I go, what are you going through my phone? Well, there's certain things we don't allow in here. For example, an example used was a massacre that happened in New Zealand. There was footage of it, and it's illegal to have that on your phone. I said, fair enough. He said, yeah, and this slaughterhouse footage, it's very violent. It's very graphic. I said, yeah, and you can buy the products of that at Coles and Woolworths. You're paying for that. You eat bacon lately? Or beef? Or chicken? Or dairy? Any cheese? Any milk? The graphic footage that you're saying I can't even have legally on my phone, you are legally buying in supermarkets on the shelf in the morgue section where there's chopped up pieces of body parts wrapped neatly in packages. And it's not just there randomly. These aren't animals that died of natural causes. Consumers are creating a demand for the death, for the suffering, for the violence that happens to these innocent, vulnerable animals who've done nothing wrong. They're born into a world that has already put a price tag on their bodies and an execution date has already been set. And I said, you are the one paying for this. That's why it's on my phone. What, you're allowed to go and fund this and create this problem for these beings, but I'm not allowed to have footage of it? And he said, you've actually got a pretty good point. I said, yeah, I think I do. I talk about this a lot. I think about this a lot. We all think about this a lot, right? Because when you wake up to this massive, massive injustice happening, a mass slaughter of innocent beings happening, which by definition is a holocaust, where these beings are bred into existence, they have all kinds of different mutilations that are completely legal. For example, the birds in the egg industry, the baby males drop off a conveyor belt and they're shredded alive because they are seen as a waste product. They don't produce eggs, they're males. The dairy industry, they cage a cow, they forcibly impregnate her by invading her body and injecting her with semen against her will, with no consent. That is rape. These animals are being raped in these cages. They don't choose to have a pregnancy. They don't want a human forcing them to become pregnant. After that, when they give birth 9 months later, just like a human, her babies are taken from her. The baby boys are slaughtered, bolt gunned in the head. They have their throats slashed open. This is legal. And the mothers are used as a milk slave. That's all they're there for, to produce milk. And they milk her every day. They re-impregnate her every year. They take her babies from her every year. And after 5 to 7 years, they bolt her in the head and they slash her throat open too. It's an extremely violent way to get a drink. You know, we don't need to get milk like that. If you blend 1 cup of oats with 4 cups of water and strain it, you have oat milk. No suffering needs to happen. No violence, no rape rack, which is what it's commonly known as. In the meat industry, the pigs, for example, they have notches taken out of their ears. They have their teeth cut when they're just babies. They're castrated without pain relief. When they're killed at about 5 months old, just as babies, it's in a gas chamber. They're put into a gas chamber. Now, someone messaged me yesterday and they said, my dad works in some way alongside slaughterhouses. And he said that they go to sleep peacefully in the gas chambers. I said, really? I would love to see footage of that because I don't think it exists because I've never, ever seen that happen. And I've seen many different experiences of animals being in gas chambers where they thrash and they scream in horror as the gas burns them from the inside out until eventually they take their last gasp of air and then have a convulsion in the cage. The next step for them is getting stabbed in the throat after being shackled upside down and being bled out. The gas doesn't always work. The bolt doesn't always work. Often they're getting stabbed in the throat while they're fully conscious. Sometimes they go to the next stage as well, the scalding tank, boiling hot water, where they're also still fully conscious after being gassed or bolted and stabbed. And then they're in there drowning after all that experience. This isn't uncommon. It's not that they go to sleep peacefully, even though that's not okay either, but this is not what happens. This is not what happens in Australia. Legal abuse, legal violence, legal throat slitting is common. It's how all the meat, all the dairy, all the eggs ended up in the supermarket, wrapped up in a package neatly, and you don't think about it. They don't show, this is how we slaughter our animals to get our meat. It's very humane. They don't show any of that section. They just want you to think that they're eating grass, very happy. Something humane happens, and then they're chopped up into pieces, and we believe it because we haven't ever questioned this narrative. We're born into a society that says eating meat and animal products in general is natural, normal, and necessary. And we trust it. You need meat for protein. You need dairy for calcium. You need eggs for omegas. Lies, lies, lies. You need fish. Fish don't feel pain. Lies. Animals are treated humanely. The best way to judge if something is humane, which by the way means to show compassion, is to put yourself in that situation. Would you like to be humanely slaughtered? Could you find a single person, even the most extreme person, willing to put themselves through extreme acts, brutal acts? Could you find anybody willing to be humanely slaughtered in a slaughterhouse? No. Would you send your dog to be euthanized in a slaughterhouse? I hope not. And why is that? Because there's nothing compassionate about slaughter. Slaughter is a euphemism for murder. There's no humane way to rape. There's no humane way to molest a child. There's no humane way to slaughter an animal against their will. The taking of life against someone's will is an act of murder. You don't want to call it murder, you want to call it slaughter, doesn't matter. Taking someone's life against their will is immoral. How do you know? Put yourself in that situation. What if someone wined you and dined you, you had a good meal, you went to sleep smiling, and then boom, in your sleep, they shot you in the head, blew your head right off. You didn't feel it. You didn't see it coming. Is that humane murder? Can we call it that? Can you say to a judge, no, you don't understand. They were asleep and they had such a good night first. Obviously not. The judge is going to be like, whoa, you are more sick than I thought. I'm scared. You cannot be out in society. This is the things we've been taught to believe. And it's a real shame because it's good people. We're good people. The vast majority of humans are not deranged psychopathic murderers. If you see someone hurting an animal, let's say it's a dog, sticking a cigarette out in a dog's eye, what are you going to do? Feel nothing? Apathy? Whatever. I don't care about that situation. Of course not. You're going to care. You're going to feel very motivated to try to stop it. You're going to feel disgusted at this sick act. You're going to be angry. And you're going to try to do something to help that innocent being. Switch the dog. The dog looked right at me when I said that. You know English or something? Switch the dog for a pig. Even if you eat pigs, even if you eat bacon or pork or anything like that, if you see someone abusing an innocent pig, you're going to feel the same feeling. You're not going to be like, oh, I eat pigs. I don't want to be a hypocrite. Just go ahead. You're going to be like, hey, what are you doing? What the hell are you doing, man? Well, you're hurting this animal. What's wrong with you? Sicko? Get out of here. and potentially more. Like, you potentially put your freedom and your safety on the line to help those less fortunate, those less vulnerable. So it's really sad that we're talking about otherwise good people. Otherwise good in every way, really trying to be good. We have laws protecting each other from violence. We all agree violence is wrong. Across the board, otherwise good people doing something extremely bad. You try to find the next bad thing that people are doing compared to eating animals. Using plastic, maybe. Buying clothing that isn't ethically made once a year. Maybe you buy clothing like that. It's not good. I'm not saying it's good and, who cares? It's not as bad as what we do to animals, so it's okay. No, that's wrong as well. We should try to do whatever we can. But by such a long way, the worst thing that we're collectively doing as a society is buying meat and dairy and eggs, buying products that have been tested on animals, visiting places like zoos, aquariums, circuses that use animals for entertainment, buying leather, buying fur, buying the skin of animals who were killed for that product. It's our exploitation of animals that is a core issue of many of the issues that we're seeing today. Issues of species extinction, habitat loss, greenhouse gas emissions, ocean dead zones. The leading cause of most of the environmental problems we're faced with, land use, water wastage, pollution, is because of our farming of animals. We feed them so much food, we get back such a little bit, 10 times less in calories. It's completely inefficient. 20,000 children starve to death every single day, and just a redistribution of these foods could end world hunger over and over again. We don't do that because we like the taste of meat. We're addicted to cheese. Can't live without my cheese. And it's these good people who I want to reach out to, who we should all be trying to reach out to. There's a few who will never change. Too stubborn, too set in their ways. Even some of them will still change. There's some who never will. Okay, what about everybody else? What about everybody who does feel something? What about everybody who is trying to be good? What about everybody who isn't feeling like maybe what that slaughterhouse footage that they saw was actually very in alignment with the people they're trying to be? How do we teach them? How do we show them that there's a better way to live? How do we motivate them to realize that one person makes a difference, and every single animal product that you buy, you are responsible for the suffering and death of a very real, sentient, emotional, intelligent being just like us? I think one thing that's really important is to help people understand who these animals are. Because I didn't know. For so many years, I had no idea what their purpose was. I thought they were here just to serve humans. Just like white people thought that black people are here just to serve us. Men thought that women are here just to serve. Superiority complex, racism, sexism, speciesism. The belief that humans are up here, every other species does not matter, to the point that we're willing to bolt gun them in the head, slash their throat open, chop their bodies up into pieces, eat their corpse, all because we like how they taste. Their lives are even less valuable than us enjoying a momentary taste sensation. Absolutely crazy. We have decided the value of them. So many people say, what's their purpose if not to feed us? That's why they were put here. They were forced here by us. They're bred into existence because of our demand for animal products. When somebody is born, you don't get to decide their life for them, even if you are their mother and father. You don't have that choice of your children to force them into slavery and murder them when they're not that productive anymore. And humans don't have that right to infringe upon the rights of any other being just because we forced them into existence. You don't get to own them. We don't get to own anybody. That's called slavery. We don't get to own somebody else's life, even if they're another species. So all these people saying vegans are terrorists, they're storming farms. They're storming farms. Yeah. Why? Because there's terrorism happening inside these farms. Because animals are legitimately being terrorized inside there constantly for their entire short life until it's ended in a very terrifying way in a slaughterhouse. Vegans aren't the problem. We're trying to highlight the problem, show you the problem. Here is the problem. Yes, we had to break in because you don't show this on your pig commercials when you're selling bacon. You don't have it on the neatly wrapped package. Warning, animal was slaughtered for this product. People don't think about it. Oh, it's just beef, it's just chicken. We don't think about the individual and what they went through. If we did, we probably wouldn't want to eat it. Who wants to eat the body of a murder victim who suffered and was so scared and screamed and cried in the last moments? A lot of people don't want to eat for that reason. It's kind of disgusting. So why do people still do it, even after they watch slaughterhouse footage, even after they see these actions being put out there? So many excuses, so many reasons. I had so many as well. Some of the biggest ones: you need animal products to survive. I thought that for 7 years as a personal trainer and for my entire life up until that moment. The fact is, the truth is, every single essential nutrient that you need is found in plants, except for B12, which would have been found in plants except for the way that we sanitize and obtain food these days. The natural B12 is killed. Don't worry about it. Soy milk is often fortified with B12. Vegan meats are fortified with B12. Orange juices are often fortified with B12. Or you can do something this simple. Get a spray bottle of B12 and you brush your teeth and you spray, and that's what you got to do every couple of days. It's that easy. Or what happens? A cow is born. She's injected with B12. Her feed is supplemented with B12. She lives a miserable life. She's slaughtered. Her body's chopped up. People eat it because it's got B12 in it. And it's just filtered through somebody else's body first. It's much smarter. It's much more efficient to take the supplement directly rather than killing someone for it and filtering it through their body first. That's the only supplement you really need to care about as a vegan. Inexpensive, perfectly healthy, everybody, including meat eaters who are also highly deficient in B12, need to take. Every human living in the Western world should be taking B12. A couple of times a week, a few times a week. It's not a big deal at all. It's easier than brushing your teeth. It's easier than taking a pill. You can take a spray. So simple. That's it. Everything else is found in a plant-based diet. Protein, iron, calcium, you name it. Now, the benefit of getting it from plants, apart from obviously not having to pay for somebody to be murdered, which is a massive plus, the typical meat eater will consume 100 to 150 earthlings every single year. That's a lot of lives saved from just being vegan for 1 year even. Every single nutrient is found in plants. So you don't need to get it from the meat. Now, the benefit of getting it from plants is no cholesterol at all in any plant foods. Cholesterol is a leading cause of heart disease. Heart disease is the #1 killer of humans that we're currently faced with. The only diet proven to reverse heart disease in the majority of patients is a plant-based diet, a vegan diet. So let me break that down a little bit more. The biggest killer, there is a solution to it that can reverse this cause of death in the majority of people. That should be our default diet. Most people are going to die from this. Most people that we know will die from heart disease, something mostly preventable. They may live another 20 or 30 years. They may avoid many different toxic pharmaceuticals and live a more productive, healthy, enjoyable life with their children and their grandchildren. It's a serious issue. Just for that one reason alone, it should be our default diet. The largest study ever conducted on a relationship between nutrition and disease stated that the optimal amount of animal products in the human diet is 0. You don't need any. You don't need a little bit of eggs. You don't need a little bit of dairy. And this goes for everybody. So there's a collection of organizations around the world. The largest one is called the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. It's in the USA. It's over 100,000 accredited professionals, dietitians, scientists, etc. They did a meta-analysis on many studies, which is a study of all the studies done. And their conclusion was something along the lines of this. A vegan diet is healthy for everyone. Children, athletes, breastfeeding mothers, the elderly, everybody in between. Everybody can live and thrive on a vegan diet. Every human can live and thrive on a vegan diet. The benefits are you'll probably be reducing your chances of heart disease, the number one killer, cancer, one of the biggest killers, diabetes, obesity, osteoporosis, the list goes on and on and on. In fact, 14 out of 15 of the biggest killers can be reduced or eliminated if everybody just switched to a plant-based diet. So one of the best things you could do for your health, absolutely by far. There's no amount of animal products necessary. None of them are good. They all come with a high amount of saturated fat, hormones, antibiotics, concentrated doses of pesticides, cholesterol. None of those things are good for us. We don't need any of them. We can eat plants with either none or much less amounts of those things inside them. So this is the benefit. So we get all the nutrients we need. We don't add all the things we don't want to our diet. Win-win. Is it disgusting? Does that mean you have to eat just salad every single day? Has anybody had the cookie ice cream sandwiches here today? Okay, me too. I had it last year for breakfast. We vegans are not just eating salads. I don't even know if I've had 5 salads since I've been vegan. Now, I've been vegan for 6 years. You name it, there's a vegan option. Spaghetti bolognese, make it with lentils instead of meat. You're going to get a burrito at your local Mexican place, get guacamole instead of sour cream. Some of them have vegan cheese or just don't get cheese and get beans instead of meat, or they might even have tofu. Tofu takes on the flavor of anything. You spice it right, it has the texture and the taste of meat. There's a lot of misinformation about tofu and soy out there. I'm not surprised because soy can create chocolate, ice cream, milk, meat. So I'd be making up some bullshit studies about it too if I was part of the meat or dairy industry. And that's where a lot of them come if you go back to it. We can eat all your favorite foods. Burgers, I just had a delicious burger. The meat part of it was a large mushroom. Or you can get veggie burgers. Or you can get meat-flavored, textured burgers that has no meat in it, made from plants, at the same supermarket, Coles and Woolworths, that you already shop at. It's this easy. Often when you want to be vegan, you do this. You go to get cow's milk, and then you remember all the things you've seen in the dairy industry. You're like, whoa, I don't know if I want to support that anymore. It doesn't really make sense to support the rape and torture of animals when I can just do this and get soy milk, or rice milk, or almond milk, or coconut milk, or hazelnut milk, or hemp milk. Whoa, so many options. We are so lucky to have so many alternatives right next door that cause none of the harm, none of the cholesterol, none of the environmental destruction. Wow. How lucky. All your favorite foods. How do you go vegan? Go to veganbootcamp.org. Free, 30 days. They'll support you, coach you, help you. Ask your vegan friends. Join vegan Facebook groups online. It is so easy. It's never been easier. You can get a vegan burger at Hungry Jack's now. They're coming in Macca's and KFC. They're already in Domino's and Pizza Hut. Massive changes happening. Don't sit on the sideline. You are not neutral if you're not vegan. You are either vegan, causing the least amount of harm as practically possible, or you are an animal abuser. Your choices are abusing animals. That is just the fact. Deliberately, when you buy those foods, someone is being violently murdered. It's very far from anybody here who is not vegan that I know. It's not in your heart. You're already vegan in your heart. Guarantee that. All that's left is for you to learn how to align your actions with your values. And we are constantly evolving and becoming better and better and better. It doesn't mean you go vegan and you're just the best now. Nah, that's a good start. Congratulations, you stopped hurting animals. Whoa, it's not that special. You should never have been hurting them in the first place. You should never have been taking what's not yours in the first place. Going vegan is really nothing special. And we shouldn't think that it's phenomenal in a way, but also don't give yourself that many pats on the back. All you've done is stopped causing unnecessary harm. Give yourself a pat on the back, though. It's still really good. But it's a non-action. It's like this, right? One of these dogs, wherever they're floating around all over the place. Let's say one of these dogs was here, right here. I'm with a friend, and I'm beating this dog in the skull, trying to break this dog's skull, and I'm doing it. Eyes popping out, blood, whimpering, pain, and we're just holding it down, bashing it in the head. And then I have a change of heart, and I think, what am I doing? Wow, I would not want this to happen to me. I am going to stop. I don't know what I was thinking doing that. That's going vegan. You stopped. Good. But what you should really do is go back to the dog and go back to your friend and say, yo, dude, stop. What are you doing? What are we thinking? This is not okay. You need to stop right now, man. This isn't who you are. No, you're a good person. Come on, let's go do something else. First things first, let's take this dog to the vet. Let's try to help this animal. And then next time we want to entertain ourselves, let's just go surfing. Or let's go to the movies. Let's do something a little more chill. There's many other ways that we can find entertainment instead of fishing and abusing animals in other ways. There's many other ways you can enjoy the pleasure of eating food without eating corpses or stolen breast milk or bird ovulations, bird menstruations. And that's what we're trying to teach people here. There's another alternative way to live. It's in everybody's heart. Being vegan is just pulling yourself out of the violence. Next step, help the animals. Help them. There's few things that you can do that will cause so much more peace on this earth than helping somebody go vegan. When you help one person go vegan, you're probably going to add years to their life. You're probably going to take away much of their own suffering from illness. That's an amazing gift to give somebody. You're probably going to help them stop contributing to the death of 100 or 150 animals, reduce their carbon footprint, many, many benefits. How else do you save so many lives? How else do you stop so much violence? How else do you increase the peace in such a massive, massive way? If everybody did what vegans are already doing, eating plants, basically, that's it. Eating cookie, sandwich, ice cream things. Everybody was just eating the vegan foods. 74 billion land animals, 2.7 trillion sea animals would be spared every single year from hell. I was just in a slaughterhouse for 3 nights in Bali. I have never seen a better illustration of the word hell. The fear in their eyes, the screaming, the way they were forced into these places to await their death, the way they saw their friends being killed in front of them, the fear, the anxiety, the pain they were experiencing, all of it. What is a slaughterhouse is the definition of hell. And we could have a vegan world where a single slaughterhouse does not exist. There's no need for slaughterhouses. They're everywhere, legal, 30 minutes from here. In our good society, where if you slit a person's throat, you'd be going to jail for the rest of your life, I hope. We would never forget it in our town if that happened just randomly here today. And yet, just right there, in that building right there, the cheese festival across there, built on rape, torture, enslavement, violence, and murder. So normal in our society. Doesn't need to exist. One of the biggest things we can do to create peace on earth for all beings, not just humans. Let's think bigger. Let's have compassion for everyone, not just dogs, dolphins, and humans. For everyone is to help create a vegan world. How do we help create a vegan world? Live by example, number 1. Be the best vegan you can be. Happy, healthy, encouraging, supportive, knowledgeable as well. You're going to get asked a lot of questions when you go vegan. What about plants? What about free range? What about humanely slaughtering animals? What about B12? What about protein? If we don't eat animals, won't they take over the world and eat us? Etc., etc., etc. Many, many objections. Learn the answers to these objections. There's many websites dedicated to helping you understand. The one that I studied when I first started getting interested in the animal rights movement is animal-rights.com. 100 of the questions that you'll be asked. Learn the top 10. Being knowledgeable on these answers gives you confidence. When you're confident, you don't come from as much of a place of emotion when you're dealing with people. When you're dealing with people, when you're talking with people, it is phenomenal how far a conversation can go. The perspective that you have. There's a few of the perspectives that are totally normal in a vegan lifestyle. 1, unnecessary violence is wrong. 2, animals, although different, are not necessarily inferior and their lives belong to them, not us. 3, slaughterhouses should not exist. In fact, there's no humane way to slaughter, so all needless slaughter should not exist. A few things like that. this perspective, although so normal now, so obvious, of course slaughterhouses are a bad thing. They have the highest worker rate turnover, the highest injury rate of any profession. The surrounding areas of slaughterhouses have the higher rates of violent crime, suicide, rape, drug abuse, murder. Of course slaughterhouses are a bad idea. We're desensitizing people to violence. Obviously, now, when you're vegan. Before, oh yeah, slaughterhouses. You mean abattoirs. Let's say it a little bit more nicely. You mean an abattoir? The humane slaughter place? Yeah. It's so obvious to us now. Sharing your perspective, why you went vegan, how that connection you made. Put your hand up if you've been vegan your whole life. I didn't think so. So that's another thing. Don't be judgmental. Everybody is coming from a new place. You're so lucky. You're so lucky that you're vegan. You're so lucky that you understand this and that you've changed. I'm so happy for each and every one of us to be living more in alignment with where our heart's really at. Man, we're lucky. You weren't there maybe 3 years ago, 5 years ago. You just figured it out. Same, 6 years ago. Have compassion for people. Be understanding and patient with people. They're not just going to flick in one vegan conversation with you, but every single seed that you plant is going to be meaningful. You're challenging someone's reality in a very logical way. Are you against animal abuse? Okay, so how do you justify paying for animal abuse for products that you completely do not need and can easily avoid and live without? There's no answer to that question that's logical. So asking questions, questioning people on their motives, sharing your own personal story, and then taking it further. After you become a bit knowledgeable, where else can we share this? How about social media, where we all have 100 people on our friends list, 200, many of us have 1,000. That's a big audience. That's a massive audience of people who are willing to listen to you put your thoughts out, put your recipes out there, put your interesting quotes, sharing documentaries, new businesses, vegan festivals, vegan protein, vegan clothing, vegan products. Share it. Show people how easy it is, that there are these alternatives, that it's as simple as just making a slightly different choice. Help people realize that being vegan is easy, accessible, enjoyable, satisfying, so fulfilling. Teach them through social media, because you all have an audience, even if it's just your friends and family watching your stuff. Amazing. That is amazing. It's very hard to reach an audience every single day with this message, but people who we all have following us will be checking it out. What are you up to today? Oh, you're at a vegan festival. What did they eat? Whoa, those cupcakes and donuts look pretty... Are they vegan? Whoa. I didn't know you could have vegan cupcakes and these kind of things. These are kind of things that break through people. Don't only put slaughterhouse footage. That would be my recommendation, because that's a fast way to get you blocked and muted. People don't want to see it. Don't show me where my food comes from. I don't want to see that. I just want to eat it. Like, okay, that's a bit hypocritical. If you can't even look at what happens to them for you to get your food, maybe you shouldn't be paying for it to happen, because maybe that's just not the kind of person that you are. And you know that because you can't even look at what happens inside a slaughterhouse. And they won't let you inside to go and check it out. Why do you think that is? They don't want this whole humane slaughter shit to be have the lid blown on it. Sharing different things with people. Enjoyable things, just your life, just you living as a vegan, you being healthy, what's up? You being healthy, you being your best self kind of thing. The food here, the products here, the documentaries, and a little bit of slaughterhouse footage every now and then. Just put it in there, just remind people that's what it's really about. Yeah, it's good that we can get vegan cupcakes, but do you know what's really important? Ending slaughter, ending unnecessary slaughter of childlike beings who feel pain and suffer and want to live and don't want to die just as much as us, our cousins in feathers, fur, scales, and wings, who are just trying to live and get through life, and we're making it hell for them. If the animals could form a religion, humans would be the devil. No doubt about it. Unless the animals at a sanctuary run by vegans, then they're angels. So share it with people. Maybe you'll start a vegan business. Maybe you're already in a business that isn't fully vegan. Maybe you can get more vegan options on the menu and turn it fully vegan. Maybe you're an athlete, start promoting that you're eating a whole food plant-based diet. Whatever it is, maybe you're a foodie, you want to make some recipes. There's countless ways, but realize that you, each and every one of you, you're all the animals have. You're all they've got. Vegetarians aren't going to help. People who buy organic free-range animals that all end up at the same slaughterhouse are not going to help. They're not helping create a vegan world, which is the only world free from the exploitation of animals. That's what they deserve, nothing less. Nothing less than being vegan. Vegetarian, I just buy organic free-range. Nothing less than being vegan is good enough. Everything else causes needless abuse, needless exploitation. No one else is going to do it. You're the vegans that are going to do it. You're the vegan army. You, every single one of us. How amazing that you have so much power that you can change somebody and reduce so much suffering with just a conversation, just leading by example. You don't need to get a gun. You don't need to go to war. You don't need to force this political change. You can have a conversation with your mum and say, Mum, you raised me to be a compassionate person. Thank you for that. I'm really happy with the kind of person I strive to be. It's because of you, how you raised me. You taught me right from wrong, and hurting others is obviously wrong. I've learned a way that I was really causing a lot of harm to others, and I've made changes because of that. Thank you for helping me be motivated to do that. I wanted to let you know that you're still causing the harm that I have recently started to completely avoid. And I think because of the person you raised me to be, that you will appreciate this information as well. I think it's going to resonate with you. I think it's going to motivate you as well. I'd really appreciate it if you would see what happens to these animals before they become the neatly wrapped package on the supermarket shelf. Will you watch that for me? You can put it to them like that. It's not a judgment. You raised me wrong. You raised me to be a bad person. Why didn't you raise me vegan? You should be vegan, Mom. You're an animal lover, Mom. It can be from love, from compassion, you know? And I think that's how it should always be. The means we use must be as pure as the ends we seek. That's a Martin Luther King Jr. quote. And I think that if we're trying to create a peaceful path for people to walk, we need to show how it's done with all the compassion, with all the understanding. It doesn't mean you have to sacrifice your message. You can be stern, you can be strong, you can say every single fact, brutal fact that you know, but coming from a place of love. And that's why I want us all to do better. And that's why I know that you're a compassionate person who has the power to change. This is the kind of way that we can really change the world. Every single person here, you influence one person to go vegan, and then they influence one person, and so on, and it's just over. The whole thing just ends. It's so logical, it's so simple, it's so easy, it's so achievable for each and every one of us. So you're the army. You're the army, and take that responsibility on. Don't think that it's on just a few activists or a few organizations or, oh, the documentary's out, people will watch it. No, you have to be part of the army. You don't have to, actually. I'm not going to force you. I can't force you. But be there for the animals the way that you would want someone to be there for you if it was you in their situation. I know you might feel a bit nervous about sharing this. Vegans get a bad rep, although that's changing a lot. That's why there's vegan products everywhere. People are catering to us now. You might feel like you're not going to be able to put it across in the best way. Practice a little bit. Practice debating online a little bit. Hone your skills. Hone your communication skills. Do whatever you got to do. But you being a voice for animals is so important and goes such a long way. Every conversation matters. Every crack in somebody's conditioning is another step to them becoming vegan. And then hopefully becoming active in spreading the vegan message. And support every step. If someone's like, yo, I went vegetarian, don't be like, yeah, and you still support the torture and slaughter of dairy cows and egg chickens. Be like, that is awesome, mate. Put your hand up if you went vegetarian before you went vegan. Thank you. Me too. Clearly, it's a good stepping stone. Everyone says baby steps. I don't want to promote baby steps. There's not that many steps. Go vegetarian, go vegan. That's pretty much the 2 steps. I think that's an excellent step to promote and say, you know what? You went vegetarian? That's awesome. Well done. Support, support. Just remember, though, the reasons why you went vegetarian are the reasons why you should be vegan. I understand that you wanted to go vegetarian for a little while, a couple of weeks, a week, a month, maybe it's a year. Everybody's different, right? Like, you know with somebody, this is going to take you a while. Support them every way. Show them how easy it is. What's stopping you from being vegan now? How can I help you get there faster? You don't know many vegan recipes? I got you covered. I bought you a cookbook. Here's a few recipes. I sent you some links. Look, check this out. I made it. It took me 5 minutes. Would you enjoy that? Okay, what about this? You'd enjoy that. Sweet. Help them. I don't know much about the nutrition. Cool, this is all you need to know. Eat a wide variety of whole food, plant-based diet. Download the Daily Dozen app. It's free from Dr. Michael Greger. Get the Forks Over Knives app. It has all the healthy recipes. And for sure, you'll be healthy. Take a B12 supplement. That's everything you need to know. You need to worry less about being healthy on a vegan diet than you do on a meat and other animal product-based diet. That's why hospitals are filled with people eating animal products. And there's many less vegans inside these places. Encourage people every step of the way. I had one vegan meal. I didn't eat meat on Monday. That's mad. Well done. You took a step forward, and every step carries momentum to another step, and another step, and another step. Almost the majority of people here went vegetarian first. Great. Cool, that's clearly a good step. You went vegetarian, next go vegan. Here's how to do it. Be supportive all the time. Don't push people away. Don't get their defenses up. Don't make people feel shamed that they're not already there. You didn't go vegan overnight. You haven't been vegan your whole life. Most of you have been vegan in the last 3 to 5 years. Who are we to judge? We're so lucky we got the information that we did when we did. And isn't it such a nice party? You climbed the mountain. You're vegan now. Isn't it a nice view from the top? Now, we're not finished. There's still some more climbing to do. We've still got to do more things to be better humans, be kinder to each other, reduce our consumption in general, try to buy secondhand instead of brand new. There's lots of little things we can do for the environment and to be better humans in general. But going vegan is a massive, massive step towards a totally different world. From hell to heaven almost, pretty much. Like very close. For billions and trillions of beings, that's literally what it is. So thank you. Thank you all so much for being vegan. Thank you everybody here who's not vegan who listened to me talk about it for an hour. Thank you to anyone who is taking steps forward. Thank you to anyone who is encouraging people to do that. Thank you to anyone who brought people here who didn't really want to come. And you did that, and that was your form of activism today. Put your hand up if you're one of those people. Good work, good work. You're my favorites. Nice, excellent. Welcome. You're so welcome here. This is not an exclusive club. We want everybody to go vegan. Not so we get more members, so that the suffering ends. So that the animal holocaust ends. People are paying for a holocaust right now. It's not okay. Being vegan is the least we should do. I thank you all for wherever you are on that journey and for everybody here today who's making a difference through your choices and helping other people do the same. Thank you all so much.